welcome to our conversation on women investing in women. And it is such an honor and pleasure for Robin and I to co-host this conversation. And our guest today is Shirley Ann. Shirley Ann is a dear friend and a spirit family for me. She's like a mom to me. I'm like a daughter to her. And we met through business coaching and me helping her find her purpose and live her calling. And through this process, I have learned to love her, respect her. And this conversation Robin and I are going to have is truly to honor the woman she is and the contribution she is making to the world in terms of investing in other women. A brief introduction to Shirley Ann. She's a former Army veteran. So she's a woman who has invested in this country's safety and security and has served our country. She was a teenage mom who has raised 3 children. And so she's invested in raising her daughter. She's invested in making this world a safe place for all of us women. And now she's getting ready to launch a not-for-profit that is going to make a huge difference in the life of women and girls and families. So I'm super excited and honored to bring Shirley Ann. And let me turn it over to Robin.
I am so excited for this interview. I know Shirley Ann vicariously through actually her son, Marquise, who is amazing, and had very briefly met Shirley Ann as well. So I am thrilled to hear more of her story. I've heard a little bit of it in the background and just beyond excited for this, to have her as a guest. So honored and excited.
Thank you, Robin. Shirley Ann, so as we bring you into this conversation about women investing in women to make life safe, secure, and livable. When life is not safe, secure, and livable, women can't function. How, throughout your life, in the various roles you have played, how have you succeeded to do that while you were trying to create that for yourself?
Wow. Well, thank both you and Robin for having me here with you today. To be quite honest with you, I believe that started when I was a little girl, actually, after losing my mom and understanding the tools that she gave me that I needed in order to survive as a woman in this world. And then becoming a young teenage mother, as you mentioned earlier, becoming that young teenage mother at 14. The next month, I was 15 when I had Marquise. I always say I was 15. They were like, no, Mom, you were 14. But it is what it is. I had to step in and utilize that skill set and the tools that my mom gave me as a woman and being a part of a family. And then thereby taking that into the force of the military. Now, I can talk about some stuff in between that, but I'm going to jump all the way into the military. And becoming, I came in the military as a private at the lowest rank, even though I had schooling and what have you. Didn't stay that way. And then eventually, after over 20 years, rose to the position of a first sergeant. And being a female, I had to interact with other females as well as males. But one of the things that I'll never forget that my drill sergeant said to me when I came, and I passed it on to other females. Remember your femininity. You're in this world, you're in this army, but never forget that you are a woman and that you do have to posture yourself and make it available for others for the security that they need. The area has to be safe, but it's more important as well for that woman to understand those parameters and to carry and to conduct herself in that light. And I hope I answered what you asked me.
Absolutely.
From that perspective where it becomes livable, be it was a single mom, because there's a lot of single mothers in the military, be it dual military, meaning she was serving simultaneously as her husband was serving, or even be it a wife or mother that was a stay-at-home. Because I got also to do some counseling in the family in those areas and helping that female, that woman understand her role in the family so that they all could be safe, secure, and the environment very livable.
Mhm. So today, as a realtor, you are helping women find their first home.
Yes.
So one of those special realtors who doesn't just help people find their home. When they find the home and they don't have money to buy a refrigerator or a washing machine, you're the realtor running around to find the right equipment to put it in the house as your welcome gift. I don't know any other realtor who does that. So what propels you to function like the universal mom to
Oh.
help every woman find that space? Because when a mom is safe, the family is safe.
You know, and I laugh behind that because technically we're not to do things like that. But in helping this one female that I did help, in that case, it was all about that client. So for me, real estate is about the client. If my heart and the passion is there, then I have no issues with going above and beyond. I don't do real estate for commissions. Now, mind you, commissions are nice to have because it allows me to bless people across the waters, as well as maybe giving back and helping them to be secure. But I do it because I believe that every person, and in particular, woman, if she's single, become a homeowner. And I've helped several of them. I smiled when you said that because I can think back on some of the clients that just needed a place to stay. Their apartment living was not working for them, evictions or whatever. They did not think they could own. And, you know, I'm smiling because there's several women that I have helped obtain their own home. Now I have one that said, Shirley Ann, who went from, I don't know what I'm going to do, have nowhere to live. She said, Shirley Ann, you're going to be my realtor again, because the home that I bought, that was my starter home. I'm ready to rent that home and go buy me another home. Those are successes because the mind shift, her name's Tamika. I won't give her last name, but her mind shifted. And now she's telling her children, you will become homeowners. I'm not charging you rents while you're home in college or whatever. I want you to save your down payments because I want you to go into your own home. That is phenomenal. That's phenomenal. So I do it because it's in my heart. I love people. That's my passion. That's my calling. And every client that I get, I literally do say, okay, God, you send them to me. And if you don't send them to me, then they're not for me. So that means if I've had a client and they went away and we didn't do a transaction, I was okay. So it didn't matter how small the deal was or how big the deal is. It's bigger than the house, but it gives them security. It helps them to feel safe. It helps them to feel livable. And it also helps them to understand that they too can have, as they say, quote unquote, a piece of that pie for their children. That's legacy.
Oh, I love that. And I really love how you talked about mind shift and mind shift legacy. I was especially impressed when you were talking about when you went into the military, and don't forget that you're female. And to me, it seems like with everything you've said that you're embracing yourself as a whole person and not cutting off part of you, part of who you were just because you were in a male role. And I going forward, I know many female realtors, but at one point in time that was a male dominated profession. Now it's not so much anymore. But I love that notion that you're embracing your whole self and using your whole self to help other people. And how were you able to create that mind shift for yourself? Like what helped you go, for example, to go from I'm in a teenage, unwed teenage, I assume unwed teenage.
I was definitely unwed. Yes.
And unwed teenage mother to now I'm going to be in the military and I'm going to raise the rank. I'm going to rise in the ranks in the military. That had to have been a massive mind shift for you. So what helped you create that mind shift?
Yeah, and it was a massive mind shift. And I will give Marquise's father credit. He did ask me to marry him, but I was like, no, sir. Here I am, this ninth grader. What do I look like being married? But what do I look like being pregnant? So I was not going to be a statistic, as they say. And I recall, I think I was about 2021, when obviously I had to go on the governmental assistance. But I wrote the social worker and said, I no longer need your services. I thank you. I worked at McDonald's with Marquise after high school. I worked at Osco Jules Drug. I always kept myself engaged. So what helped me? I watched the strength of my mother while she was passing away from cancer and the different things that she was doing and the mindset that she gave us. That's really my strength. Very truthfully, Robin, and knowing for me from a Christian perspective, the Lord being on my side, I could not quit. I had to move forward. And then having the responsibility of children. You know, I did what I knew to do, but I knew that they were dependent upon me and me not having a mother. I had my aunt who stepped in, but that still was not my mother. I did not want to fail my children. So at all costs, I had to succeed. The mindset, having that for me allows me to not just tell this young woman or this older woman, you can do this. I could say humbly that I did not despise my humble beginnings, but look at me. If it can happen for me, it can happen for you. You may not do it the same way that I do it, but I do have some tools that you can put in your toolbox and we can get you to where you want to go and we can shift. So I have psychology. I have my master's degree in that. I didn't go that route, but those tools that I got from that also, that counseling skill set, allowed me to understand some of the thought process of my clients. And then the military, allowing me to take it and shift and to pattern the process specifically with specificity with the client that I'm dealing with. So no two clients are the same. They all get me, but I bring me in a package where I can be that blossom to bloom for them.
Beautiful. I love that.
Beautifully said. And I love the way you phrased that question, Robin. So Shirley Ann, as we continue this conversation about how you are taking in the investment women are making in you, and then you're paying it forward to help other women, you are getting ready to launch a new venture. Talk to us about it and tell us why you want to do this.
Yeah. So the new venture, House of Nirvana, is really exciting. And even I have to say, the more I talk to you all, just sitting here with this epiphany, it's even honing it in more. And it very well may be specifically for women who are displaced from their home. Because we tend to forget women who are displaced. And I use those terms. House of Nirvana is an organization that's designed to help. And I'm going to take that on. It will be that. Dr. Cash, you're my business coach. So you're locking me in and keeping me focused with that. It's going to focus towards women. Because we forget women, and I'll use these terms initially, but I won't use them later. It's like the contract. This person is this, later on referred to as that, right? What woman? I'm talking about the woman that's currently incarcerated or that has been incarcerated. House of Nirvana is going to help her with that displacement from her family to come back seamlessly into her family and be a winner. The woman who is supporting the male that has been incarcerated or displaced from their home. The Hearts of Nirvana is actually the art of rebirthing. We are going to help rebirth that person, which deals with mindset shift as well. And ART stands for acceptance. It's important that individuals are accepted no matter what their past or their plight was. That does not define that is who they are. So we're going to help them shift that thought process. That's not who you are. You're not a criminal. You are productive. You do have skill sets. And so helping her feel confident in building her confidence. The other thing that we'll do is redemption. We all do need to be redeemed from something. The truth of the matter is. And then finally, that transcendence, helping transcend back into society, back into her home very comfortably. And I plan to do that through partnership with organizations that are already established, such as Boys and Girls Club, because we will bring mentorship, we will bring counseling, we will bring financial skill sets. If they do not own a home, I will even take my real estate skill set to help them posture with the lenders and the team that I have to position them, not reposition, but position them into their own home so that they can take care of their children. And they become the asset to the family instead of a liability to the family and an asset to the system. So I'm excited about the House of Nirvana.
You know,
That-
I'm gonna, yeah, go ahead.
That is such a beautiful way of voicing the value propositions, Shirley Ann: acceptance, redemption, and transcendence. And this is actually the 3 steps everybody needs to be supported through any transformation. And the fact that you have taken that and made it into an ART, ART acronym, and you're leveraging that to take your skill set, your experience, that is a beautiful thing to hear. Go ahead, Robin.
Yes. You know, I love that you're looking at, you know, both sides of the coin, women who have been incarcerated. And I know that you like to use other terminology because that can be very, as you have called it, binding terminology. But leaving the system, there is, even though I'm sure there are attempts made, leaving the system and coming back into society, that transition is fraught with danger. It is a slippery slope. And being able to make that transition is so crucial. And then on the other side, the woman whose partner has been incarcerated, perhaps they've been relying on that person financially, definitely emotionally, psychologically, etc. And so how do you view tackling these are two sides of the same coin, but how do you view tackling, for example, the women coming out of prison versus the woman who has been, their partner has gone in?
So the board that I'm putting together, there will be board members who have actually physically been there. I have been there on the other side as far as a family member supporting, but I want real people with real issues seeking reliable solutions. And so the stamp on that will be the female who has been there, that has since had her mindset change, and she is positively contributing to society to help that woman, because again, she's been behind those bars, to help her understand what it was, that psychological, that myth, that cloud, that smoke screen that she was in. Because most times when an individual is incarcerated, let's say if a person got incarcerated on yesterday and they're released 10 years from now or 1 year from now, their point of reference is the last day that they had in society before they come home. And so we've got to speed that clock up. We've got to some kind of way integrate them very gently back into society where that they feel that they're not a misfit, but they are a fit. And I think seamlessly having people who have been there, done that, successful, having counselors in place, providing tools and helping them talk it through, see it through, accountability of that individual, because we're not necessarily on my handout. No, we're going to hold you accountable because I want to see changes. It goes back to basic training when I was in the Army. There was training that had to take place, even though I came with my own idiosyncrasies. I had to leave some of those things behind and shift them or graduate them in order to become a part of that model society, which was the military. And I'm okay with it because all it did was make me a better person. It was how it was delivered to me was the way that I was able to embrace it, i.e. my drill sergeant. Yes, you're in the Army. Take your femininity, because I went in the Army back in 1976. It wasn't well, 82. It wasn't the Woman Army Corps. In the 70s it was, but there was still this transition out of trying to blend me within. So I think some of the tools that I've been given from the military, I can very swiftly and easily and synchronize those things together with a platform and a solid board to help that person blend back. And they want to be different and help someone else be different. Each one, reach one, teach one. Thereby we save our legacy so that our children don't go through that system itself.
That's a brilliant way of breaking the cycle, not allowing the toxicity to propagate. And today, at a time where the prison system is a business,
It is.
the market demand for inmates is like the same way hotels and resorts are trying to market and get, people to come and spend time there. So in a system that is profit motivated, breaking the cycle for the sake of humanity and our social sustainability, we can see the business economics and the social sustainability at crossroads with each other. So Shirley Ann, what are some of the resources and people and the thoughts you are going to be bringing in to make this happen? Because ultimately the long term is truly helping people not become a part of the system and therefore making that business redundant.
Yeah, that might be the biggest challenge, quite honestly, and being very transparent, especially in these United States. So I smiled a little bit because in my mind, I was like, you should have went into politics, because I've always talked about that. Because lawmakers are the ones who are making these laws for certain things to occur. So I will not kiss up, but I will become involved with decisions, things that people are making. I will make sure that people understand voting rights, that we do what we're supposed to do. I will partner, the police department, the prison systems, they do have a job to do. Unfortunately, some people do need to take time out and be incarcerated based on very bad behavior. I mean, let's face it, those systems and tools are in place for people who really do need that. But sometimes those systems that are in place are not designed for recidivism and helping people stay out. They're designed to be that revolving door. So just like I'm wanting to work with the inmate or the displaced individual's mindset, then I have to also be able to be that spokesperson for the House of Nirvana to get with the politicians. And this is starting in South Carolina, in fact, Richland County, South Carolina, because that's where I reside. I've got to partner with them. I can't see them as an enemy. But if I can help them understand the importance of having healthy communities, which means that policemen now become truly protecting and serving, state patrol officers become truly highway patrolmen and monitoring, and their jobs are the right things, and then nobody loses. Because we do want healthy families. I mean, I thought of just now that Murdoch case, that big lawyer case that we just had here. And what he did to his family. He deserves to go to jail just based on that action. Howbeit ever with that, and he deserves that punishment based on him taking the lives of his family members. It just makes me wonder though, Dr. Cass, and I don't care ethnicity, even though most brown and black people are the ones that are filling these systems, but if there are measures and tools in place that people can go with amnesty, not that I wouldn't committed a crime or whatever, but I'm wanting to do something, I need help. Help prevent me to restrain myself until I know how not to go and harm my family. I mean, South Carolina we need it for real. And yeah, mental illness is real. But there are a lot of people that are hurt, and there's a lot of people that just deal with, to me, resident evil. Some people are just doing stuff for the love of money. So if I can change the mindset to help. So I'll have to get involved. I'll have to get involved with the politicians, and I'll have to get involved with the law enforcement. I'll have to understand their systems and help them understand what it is that I want to do, that I'm not an enemy of theirs, but we're actually on the same team.
Beautiful. So as we bring this to a close, I know this has been a very crisp, short conversation, but we've had so much information and insight. And I know the listeners and audience are going to want to hear more, maybe get involved, support in your cause, Shirley Ann. What is the best way for them to reach you, connect with you, and support the mission of House of Nirvana so that you can bring the art of rebirth into all the communities, because we all need a safe, happy place to live?
Facts. So right now, immediately, one way is via email, and that's support@houseofnirvana.org. SUPPORT @HOUSEOFNIVARNA.org, houseofnirvana.org. Or you can call me at 803-567-0981. That is the current number that I am using for House of Nirvana. Or they can just hit me up on my Facebook page, Shirley Ann Montgomery, and you can just send me a message that you want to know more. Also, we will be launching a GoFundMe eventually. A website is also coming. We are not going to haphazardly launch this. We're going to launch this with excellence and professionalism. Just keep your eyes open and your ears listening, and stay plugged into Dr. Cass as well. And I promise you, you definitely will feel great about being a part of this organization. And as you watch it unfold in South Carolina, it'll be a model that we can take to Michigan, Illinois, Utah, across the world.
Beautiful. Thank you so much.
Any
Thank you.
closing thoughts, Robin, as we bring this to a very, very interesting close?
Well, I am just thoroughly impressed and inspired by the tenacity and vision that you have held across your entire life, to do what you've done across your entire life. And now at this point, very actively helping segments of the population that so need it, women who are incarcerated, women whose partners have been incarcerated, two sides of the same coin. I am impressed and honored just to be part of the conversation.
Thank you, Robin.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I am so grateful, Shirley Ann, to be your business coach, have this conversation with you, and be a part of bringing your grace and your commitment to be showcased in the world, because what you're doing is something the world needs. We need more women understanding and empathizing with other women and step in to lift each other up. It is because when we do that we make this a better place.
Yes.
Women need to be each other's blind spot watchers and each other's champions. And in a society where women have not mastered that art, initiatives like this are going to bring us together and help us shine our lights so that together we can create a runway so that every woman can take off and land into the dreams that she and her family wants. So thank you so much.
Thank you.
And wonderful to share this message with the world on investing in women.
Thank you. I do this because normally when you said the landing, it took me back to when I'm on a plane and the pilot gives me the smooth landing. We used to clap and applaud the pilot for the landing. So yes, thank you. Great landing in the show.
Thank you. Thank you so much.